Hello, everyone. Looking at today's reading, the Declaration of the Rights of Man, or the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, 1789. It's a French document. I am not an historian, and I'm not really very familiar with this document. I just thought I was aware of it. Thought it would be something that would really fit into the kind of things you've been reading. Um, Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, Kant, Mary Wollstonecraft, real 18th century Enlightenment stuff. This is such an important, um, the Constitution of the United States, the Declaration of Independence. It's such an important historical period in the 18th century, and especially the latter part of it, in terms of the American Revolution, the French Revolution, and they are obviously drawing on Rousseau and probably Locke. If you want the background of it, just look at the Wikipedia article. It's really good. I had no idea that Thomas Jefferson apparently had some hand in this because of his friendship with Lafayette, the great. The guy came over and helped out with the American Revolution. I guess Jefferson was in France at the time as American ambassador, I guess. Really quite amazing document. And just without even knowing the history of the document, we can see how influential it is in forming modern political attitudes and attitudes towards human rights and attitudes towards society in general. I mean, especially the first articles are just such essential things. We see them looking backwards to Rousseau, for instance, in the first article, men are born and remain free. It's almost a quote from Rousseau, man is born free, yet everywhere he is in chains. I mean, the influence is obvious. And just our notions, I suppose, of what government is for. What is the purpose of government? They say there in Article 2, the aim of all political association is the preservation of the natural and imprescriptible rights of man, the natural rights of human beings. Governments exist to protect those rights. And then they say, these rights are liberty, property, security, and resistance to oppression. It's not just a Hobbesian vision. It's not just a Leviathan vision of security. It contains something else, which is really quite important, right? Is that governments not only give us security, but they help us to resist oppression. So governments themselves can't be oppressive. It would seem that, under a certain reading of Hobbes's Leviathan, that just wasn't so. This is a new idea. It's just incredibly rich with really important political ideas that maybe we take for granted now, but certainly were not to be taken for granted in 1789. That was the whole purpose of the revolution, I guess. The French Revolution. There is one that two actually that I found particularly striking as being influential or reflective of modern attitudes, and that's 4 and 5. In Article 4, where it says that liberty consists in freedom to do everything which injures no one else. It is just like such a root idea. I'm sure that you recognize it there, that this modern idea of freedom is to do whatever you want, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. And then number 5, law can only prohibit such actions as are hurtful to society. Really, an incredibly important idea. And yes, I'm a philosophy teacher, so I'm thinking of the so-called harm principle in ethics and in law. That is that nothing can really be wrong unless it hurts someone else. And that's such an important political principle. That is that people's freedom should not be restricted unless the exercise of that freedom can be demonstrated to be truly hurtful to society, that is, to truly cause harm to others. So you can, it's just such an important idea, and such for the time, a revolutionary idea. But the only things that can really be said to be unlawful are the things that cause harm to others. Otherwise, we should let people be free. They should be free to pursue happiness, right? To use the the phrase from the Declaration of Independence. So that's what really struck me. I mean, other things may strike you, of course, but this idea of liberalism, this idea that we should make society as free as we possibly can. We should let individuals decide how they want to live, within the bounds of the practicality, as long as the way that they've chosen to live and the things that they've chosen to do don't hurt others. Now, that leads us into a whole conversation about what hurtful to society is and how we demonstrate that. But at least we've got some basic structure there, basic outlook, where freedom is just incredibly important.